This is part 2 of a 2-part episode. To hear the beginning of the story, go back and listen to part 1 first, then come back and listen to this episode.
You're just right for me, and I'm just right for you. And I'll take your heart and squeeze so softly, so sweetly, forever love.
So I went back to work, and over the course of the afternoon, I processed those feelings and made up my mind I was going to kiss you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you may have come to a similar conclusion. I'm not exactly sure how, but
Yeah.
part of what was going on is that the couple that we lived with, they were going out that night and they were not coming back until late. So we had the house to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to get some takeout, and we would often get takeout as roommates, and we would sit and watch TV together with our takeout. So we went and we got some takeout, and I set the takeout on the counter, and I went in to use the restroom thinking, when I come out of the restroom, we're going to take this takeout into the living room and we're going to eat in front of the TV. I come out of the restroom, you have set up our dining room table with plates and silverware and candles. And I just remember looking at this and being like, oh, thank God, I'm not the only one who's trying to do something different.
Yeah.
It was very sweet.
I think we both had the same thing, because I think the rest of the day I was like, you know what? These guys in the book are making it happen. She's leaving in 2 weeks. I should try to make something happen. I should take the risk.
Yeah. So we had a very beautiful night, and we kissed.
Yeah.
We ended up in bed together in your room because I was cold and I
'Cause you
needed to
were-
be warmed up.
Yes.
It was a really great night for both of us.
It's true.
We get together and things are good.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like,
And-
oh, fuck, I'm moving to LA
Yeah.
and I've already lined up all this stuff. I really hate long distance relationships so much.
Yeah. I know you do.
Yeah, you know I do because you've been through 2 of them now with me.
Yeah.
When you and I got together, I really regretted making the decision to move. Not so much that I didn't do it, but that was really hard. The long distance was difficult, and there were other difficulties as well.
I think difficult is an understatement.
Yes, please elaborate on this.
Because it wasn't just like, oh, this is difficult, I'm struggling, it's hard, I miss you. That wasn't the thing.
Right.
There were emotional freakouts.
I would freak out. I would have like crying spells. I was
Yes.
really not in
You
control
could
of my
not
feelings.
deal with it. And you started making demands on me. I need you to come down here. I need you to move down here. And this was, at this point, about 6 months after I'd moved to San Francisco, which felt like a big deal for me because I'd uprooted my life from New York and all my friends in San Francisco. And I was like, I'm not just going to move down there right now for you. My communication was probably really bad.
You went back to being mean.
I went back to being mean because I couldn't communicate and I was really defensive. But on the inside, I was like, I'm not just going to pick up and move for you. And so we started fighting a lot. We had really intense fights.
Yeah, we had really intense fights. We fought all the time.
It was
We'd
really
break
bad.
up. We would get back together. We'd
Yep.
break up. We would get back together. This was a turning point for me because this was the beginning of my personal development journey. Prior to that, I had this sense there's something that I'm doing that's making me not successful at dating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny we talk about like the reputation. Liz goes through so many guys, but I didn't want to be going through so many guys. It'd be more accurate to say so many guys were going through me.
Right.
And I was just stuck in this pattern over and over again. When we lived together, and even before we lived together, I would talk to you about it. And this is like the cliche of the guy who's in the friend zone,
Yeah.
hearing about all the drama
Yeah.
that the girl
Yeah.
has with all the other guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I remember is that I would talk to you about what was going on. Oh, I dated this guy. Seemed like he was into me. We went out on a few dates. We slept together a couple times. And then he started to pull away. And then he stopped calling me and texting me back.
Yep.
That is the story that happened over and over and over again.
Then I became that guy, didn't I? To some extent.
Stealing my story. No, it's okay. That is so, but this is what happened is I would tell you this when we were friends. And I would say, you're a guy, please give me some advice. And I would be like, look, I can take it. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell me what is going on because I have to change this.
Yeah.
You were very sweet. You would say, honestly, I don't know what's wrong with these guys. If you were my girlfriend, I would not treat you this way. So we got together and yes, I know I was a crazy person. Ultimately, the same pattern happened with you.
Yeah.
Almost exactly the way it happened with those other guys.
Yep.
And I remember talking to you about it and saying, do you remember that you used to say this? But look how you're treating me.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't even realize. You were like, oh my gosh, you're right. And I was like, right. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And you made a comment like, it seems like you don't really value yourself. Something like that.
Mm.
That was the moment where I really made the decision. I'm going to figure this out because now I know it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Because the one guy who told me he would never do that just did that.
So painful.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It was part of the journey.
Yeah. On my side, I'd always had feelings for you. At that point, it'd been 6 years or whatever, 7 years, a long time. And we finally got together and it was amazing. I was so happy. And then you moved and then it was like the crazy came out. And all of a sudden I was just like, the hell is all this? This person that I've just spent every day with for months and months and started dating, and it was so romantic and wonderful. And now she's just making demands of me. Why would anybody who really cares about me do this to me? I felt very hurt and scared and young, much younger than I am now. And before my personal development journey too. So my emotional awareness and communication skills were for shit. And I think we both made a mess. Like that was my experience. Like you said, we would fight and break up and get back together. It was just a mess. It was a total mess. I was in the same place where I was about to go on my own journey. That was the start of it for me, of trying to figure things out. But that was a painful time for both of us.
Yeah. Ultimately, we did break up.
We did break up and we separated.
Both of us went on a personal development journey. I want to share mine and then I want to hear your parallel journey.
Sure.
I'm going to start mine with a story because I mentioned that thing about when I was a freshman and we had a big fight about the other guy that I was dating.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, you're not girlfriend material. I don't know why you thought it was going to work out with him.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that cringe.
I'm cringing right now.
Yeah.
So hard. So mean.
One of the times that I visited you in San Francisco, you lent me once again, I'm going to date myself here, a CD of pickup advice from a guy named David D'Angelo. That's not his real name, but that's his alias. And it was mostly so that I could be entertained on the 6-hour drive back to Los Angeles. On this CD was an interview with a man named Sean Stevenson, who ultimately became my coach, my mentor, and who got me into coaching and absolutely changed my life for the better. My first introduction to Sean was listening to this interview on the drive home, where he presented this idea of the emotional and inner landscape, the idea of these limiting beliefs that live just under the surface in your brain. This was my first introduction to this idea. And he explained how that works. He's like, you have these beliefs that are running the show. And a lot of times people aren't even aware of them, but they're there just under the surface. And so he said, think about an area of your life you want to change. He's walking us through this visualization exercise. Think about an area you want to change in your life. And I was like, my dating life, obviously, it's a fucking disaster. And he said, now, what's that one limiting belief about that area of your life? Immediately what popped into my head was, I'm not girlfriend material. And then Sean said, where does that belief come from? And I had a flashback to this dorm room. Because you have to understand, I'm 27, that was 18. So this is 9 years later. Mm-hmm. So that belief, I'm not girlfriend material, is in there, but I don't remember where it comes from. But when he prompted that in this visualization, I had a flashback to that fight that we had freshman year. And then Sean asks, what's something that you can see now about what happened where you can make a different decision and you can form a different belief? And that was when I was able to see it with different eyes because I wasn't stuck in my own insecurities like I was in that moment. And I was just thinking, oh, I'm an idiot because he liked me. And here's this guy who told me I'm not girlfriend material, and I internalized that and made it true because then nobody wanted me to be their girlfriend. Mm-hmm. But that guy wanted me to be his girlfriend. He said it because he was mad. And we're laughing about it now, but it was a really big deal. It was a really big emotional release. Cried for about 30 minutes in the car afterwards. Yeah. Because of the emotional release. Like, it was a good cry. It was a cathartic cry.
Yeah.
After that, I really did not have this problem again of guys not wanting me to be their girlfriend. Like, I had other issues, other challenges, but that was not it.
Yeah.
It was just gone. And that was my first experience of really understanding how the inner change affects the outer world. A lot of my other journey, there were things that I need to figure out about my own sexuality, such as experimenting with polyamory. A lot of my experiences going through different men was just that monogamy didn't make sense to me, and I didn't really have a healthy alternative yet. I didn't know that I was a highly sensitive person, and I didn't know that you were a highly sensitive person. Neither of us had heard of that.
Yeah.
It's different for us, the way that it manifests. It's not like we're the exact same in our highly sensitiveness. One of the things that is really important for me to understand and navigate as a highly sensitive person is the intensity of feeling that I have, especially sexual and romantic feelings. I don't think I would be here right now doing this podcast, having done this work, getting into dating coaching. I'm also an artist. I paint a bunch of flowers and hearts, and it's been with me my whole life. And I had to really get that my nervous system has it turned up to 11 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that I could regulate it, that I could regulate that and not just be at the mercy of the intensity of feelings. But when you talked about like the crazy coming out and the demands coming out, the crazy was just this intensity of feeling that I didn't know how to make sense of. At the time, I didn't have the tools for it.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest changes.
Yeah. I agree.
I think learning how to identify and articulate my needs and desires and advocate for them in a way that is healthy instead of demanding, that's another thing that I learned.
Mm-hmm.
Got married and divorced and was not happy in that relationship for a majority of it and needed to navigate that because my ex-husband is also one of the brilliant coaches who has changed my life for the better in a personal development way. And I think I had this idea that, well, if I'm into personal development and he's into personal development, there isn't anything we can't figure out together. And that's really not how romantic compatibility works. But that was another part of my journey.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful for me that this has come full circle because even in going through all of that stuff, and then when I realized my marriage was ending and it was time to move on, I once again went about my dating coaching process of finding somebody. Because at this point, I'd worked as a dating coach and I'd come up with a process. So I ran myself through my process.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed I was going to meet someone new. I did not anticipate getting back together with you because in my history, you had been yet another guy that broke my heart, that was the wrong guy, that treated me a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you did, but it just wasn't in my awareness. This has been really nice. And you had a different journey that you went on, different things you needed to learn. I want to hear about that.
Yeah. So right after you moved, there was that year of us struggling through that relationship, and eventually we parted ways. I launched my own journey, and I basically just started pushing myself. I was like, what can I learn? Who do I need to learn it from? The idea from that book that it was possible for me to change really resonated with me a lot. And once I knew that there was a possibility, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Whatever it takes. I don't care how much money it takes. I don't care who I have to work with. I don't care what kind of person they are. I don't care how uncomfortable I am. I'm going to work through it because this is over 25 years of a major pain point. And it wasn't just in my romantic life. It was the immense social anxiety and lack of self-esteem that I felt. So I really just started to push myself, and I joined different organizations. I signed up for coaching programs that taught me how to be a coach and how to work with people and how to understand myself better. And I think a couple things started to happen for me that were really important. I think one of them was that I always did have an intuition about how people worked. But because I was so socially anxious, I thought that I was the one who was really clueless. But like we talked before about how I could instinctually identify, latch onto your insecurities, and then poke them really hard to hurt you.
Yeah, it's not like that girlfriend
like-
material thing was the first time. Like the reason why it
Yeah.
went in so deep is I already had the I'm fundamentally unlovable thing.
Right. Yeah.
And you just gave it a different language.
Yeah. So I had the ability to see things in other people, and I just didn't know it. I was doing it by instinct. But when I joined a lot of programs, they helped me identify it and refine it. Once I had that, it alleviated a lot of my social anxiety because all of a sudden I started to walk around with this knowledge that, I actually do get people, and that makes them less scary and less threatening. I started to apply that to dating and romantic relationships as well, where it just became less scary, and it got me over some of the confidence hurdles that I had. And I think a lot of self-acceptance stuff too. When I learned about the highly sensitive person, that was a whole level of self-acceptance that I had. So, okay, I am different, and it's okay because this is a real thing. And so I was able to lean into it a lot more.
I think self-acceptance, that's a big one.
The self-acceptance thing was a big one, but part of it was identifying who I am. I don't know, it's this whole thing in personal development or advice from other people. It's like, oh, just be yourself and just be confident. You hear that all the time. But no one teaches you how to be yourself or gives you a blueprint for that. I had to learn who I was and actually come to an emotional understanding that who I was okay. And there was a lot of work around letting go of what other people thought of me. I mean, it's not all gone. I still care what other people think of me, but it's not nearly as heavy of a burden now.
Yeah.
I just learned to focus on other things that became more important than what other people thought all the time. And I think that I learned to be more vulnerable. And I know you learned to be more vulnerable.
Both of us learned to be more vulnerable.
I've been able to be really vulnerable with you about what I'm feeling. Expressing vulnerability instead of attacking each other has been really, really critical, I think, for the two of us.
Yeah, I want to point out right now, I'm sitting in your apartment in San Francisco, and I still live in Southern California. And later today, I'm going to get on a flight. And we have been in a long distance relationship now.
Yep.
And I still hate it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know you know. But I made the conscious decision to navigate it properly this time. I will point out, you also made the decision to ultimately relocate. To make it work long term, which I really love and appreciate. What I've noticed this time around that's different in you is it's not just vulnerability. You seem to have gotten better at handling other people's emotions. And I think that maybe in the acceptance of yourself, you're less critical. Because when I was coaching with Sean back in 2007, he asked me at one point, would you be happy in this relationship other than the distance?
Yeah.
And that was a good question because I said, not really. Actually, this guy criticizes me all the time. He's pretty mean to me. That's not true now. I think as you learn to accept yourself, you stopped being so mean and critical. And you're more comfortable now. Yes, I'm more vulnerable, so I'm not freaking out the way that I used to because I understand what's going on with myself better. And I understand that there are intensities of emotion that when they come up, it's like a wave I need to learn to ride. A big part of my journey was learning to ride those waves.
Yeah.
And then understanding where they come from too. So I'm better at expressing it in the first place. I think you're a lot better at receiving it.
Yeah, part of that is some self-acceptance on my part. But I think part of it has been the exploration of learning how people work and learning what emotion is. Even just the time when, I don't know who taught it or somebody told me, but the idea that emotions are just like the weather. They come and go and they pass. And even just that idea and thinking about that and being like, oh, so when somebody feels something, it doesn't have to be this super threatening, scary thing. They're just having a feeling and the feeling will change on its own. Okay, that idea was life-altering to me, you know? And so I just got trained in certain ideas of how to deal with things and how to relate to things.
I think I had a similar thing with that idea that emotions are the weather patterns of the body, that because I do have these intense emotional experiences sometimes, that before I understood that, I would have an intense emotion of like, back in the day, I would have the intense emotion of really missing you. And it would translate to, I have to do something about this. I have to get on the phone with him and demand that he get on an airplane.
It's resistance to the feeling.
Yeah. And now I will still have these intense waves of missing you. I might share that with you or not, but it's more like I'll say, okay, well, this is what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
And there's different ways that I can move it through my body. If it's really uncomfortable, I can take a walk or do some physical activity, breathing, whatever, take your pick of things.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I feel like I need to put the onus on you to solve for me anymore. It's more like, oh, here is an intense feeling that's going through my body right now. And I can either just let it be, or if it's really uncomfortable, I can do something to move it. But I don't have to make a life change over it.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I'm more able to recognize when you do share a feeling with me that it is a feeling.
And not a demand.
And not a demand. So it's my own interpretation of it can be different now sometimes too.
Well, and I want to point out, we have had some really difficult conversations about you relocating.
Yes.
And we have had to navigate those.
Yes.
And there were a lot of feelings there. And I think that I'm not putting the demands on you and I'm not putting that intensity of emotion on you anymore. And at the same time, now I have 2 little kids and my family is rooted in Southern California. And so there have been conversations about, well, if this is going to work long term, you do have to move.
Yeah, there was an understanding that that was necessary.
The thing that I really wanted to do this time around was to allow a relationship to unfold and to establish something.
I do feel your ability to manage your emotions around it way differently this time than the first time around. You do still get upset about it, but there is much less of a urgent, lose your mind, freak out thing happening. So when you get upset, I feel that I can talk to you. I can work with you on it. And I think that has made a big difference. I can really feel the years that you and I have worked on ourselves. I feel like we're using it all now. This would not be working without what we both went through.
Yes.
Intentionally went through, not just getting older, but we put ourselves through things that changed our abilities and our perspectives. And that has made a difference.
And it started with that decision that we both made.
Yes.
To, oh, you can change this. I want to change this.
Yes.
I do want to tell a story of us getting back together this time. I want to talk a little bit about what led up to that for me, because I know that I kind of surprised you. So I was unhappy in my marriage, and it was time to move on. And like I said, part of my journey was to actually start working as a dating coach, and that did happen through Sean. I started working through Sean Stevenson's company first, and then branched out on my own. Mm-hmm. I basically dusted off my own manual of how to manifest a relationship.
I like that you have a user guide.
I do. I have a user guide. I have the relationship manifestation process, and I dusted it off for myself. I hadn't been coaching, but I just dusted it off for myself and started to go through it. Went deeper this time because I also got back into making art. So I made some art that really helped me break through some of the limitations and the emotional walls around vulnerability that I was experiencing. Made a list. This is part of the process, is to make a list of what kind of relationship and what kind of partner I would want to have. And this is kind of funny. I was on the apps, and I like dating apps. However, when I was on the apps this time, there's this voice in the back of my head that said, this is a waste of time because you've already met this guy. I was like, why do I keep hearing this voice? Who would this guy possibly be? This is my turn to be an idiot. Okay. Who would this guy possibly be? And at the same time, there was an event going on in the Bay Area that I wanted to attend. You and I hadn't talked for...
It was 5 years.
It was like 5 years of happy birthday, happy new year, but not much else.
No phone conversations.
Right.
No, how's it actually going, even over text message.
So this was really one of the first times that I was going to see you again and really talk to you again in about 5 years.
Yeah.
And you'd think I would have made the connection, but I didn't. I texted you and said, I'm going to be in San Francisco. I'd love to see you. Then I realized I wanted to save money on a hotel room, and I said, can I stay with you? You said yes. Then I realized, okay, I'm going to go stay with Mike. I wonder if anything's going to happen between us. But even then, it did not occur to me that you might be the person I was looking for because of our past.
Sure.
Because in my mind, I was like, well, he already proved himself not to be that guy. This is where I was pleasantly surprised. I came to visit you. We reconnected instantly.
It was pretty instant.
It was pretty instantly.
Like 5 minutes. I saw you and I gave you a really good hug.
Yeah.
I was really glad to see you. We hadn't been talking, but I hadn't missed you for years.
We gave each other this hug that later we both said, oh, we felt something in that hug. And then, yeah, I think it was within a matter of hours that we were back in bed.
Yeah.
It was that night.
Yeah.
Like I flew in the afternoon.
Like
we were in bed by that
3
night.
to 4 hours.
Yeah, it was about 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah. Made dinner first.
So we spent a few days together while I was up here. And it was a lot like when we were roommates. It was very sweet.
Yeah.
It was very romantic. It was very good. And I just had this feeling like I want to start something with you again, and I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. It happened really fast. It was like the next day after you arrived, we were sitting at lunch, and you looked at me and you were like, I think I want to start something with you. And I was like, what? What do you want to start?
But you had a good response to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did.
And then we had a lot of conversations about our past.
We had a lot to talk through.
I do want to hear more about your experience of me showing up, because you were not looking.
Well, no, I was not dating. I was very involved in some of the things I was working on. And it did occur to me, I no longer felt totally clueless. You texted me 3 or 4 times, I'm really excited to see you. And then you're like, oh, can I stay with you? I was like, I feel like there's a certain energy of interest here that's beyond just, oh, hey, I'll be in the area. So I think by the time I saw you and gave you that hug, and then I remember we were walking around Union Square and I had my hands in my pockets and you got a little annoyed at me. You're like, I'm trying to hold your hand. And I was like, oh shit, really? Okay.
Trying to hold your hand?
Yeah.
God, I'm really not subtle.
No, but there was a point in my life where I've been like, oh, okay, she just wants to hold my hand. But now I read into it a little bit more than I would have 20 years ago, let's say.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank God.
Figured it out.
Thank goodness, So yeah, that was my experience. I was really glad to see you. I had really missed you over the years, and I felt really comfortable to be around you, talk to you. And yeah, it was really good.
After we rekindled things and established things and talked through some things, I looked at my list and realized that you fit the categories, except for one. which was local.
Yep.
And yeah, that was that. Okay, well, I guess I found what I was looking for.
Hmm.
I think there was a part of me that was a little bit pissed off
Mm-hmm.
that I had done this whole thing just to get together with someone that I met when I was 18.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you've experienced that too.
Yeah. It's really frustrating. I'm still...
We're still
We're
working
still
through
working
it.
through it.
Yeah.
But it's painful. We both really struggled,
Yeah.
you know?
It's true.
And I think there is a pain point of having now known each other for 25 years, at least that I feel. That's like, ugh, we couldn't have done this earlier, you know?
We had to go through the things.
Yeah.
I also think there's a really beautiful full circle thing about it.
Yeah.
Especially now as someone who's coaching and who's been coached and who really has been in this world, to experience at this level what happens when you make a change.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we talked about in the beginning. It's not just that I made a change and then I met someone else. That also would have been a great transformation. Not everybody's going to get back together with an ex.
Right.
But for me to end up with the person that started the journey, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so special.
Yeah.
Let's do some takeaway lessons.
Yeah, for somebody listening to this, what should
Right.
they know after all of this?
Right. I would say takeaway lesson number 1, you absolutely can make a change in this area of your life if it's not working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. We did some things.
We did some things.
Yeah.
We did a lot of things.
Yeah.
I would say takeaway lesson number 2 would be, because this is a theme for both of us, learning yourself and accepting yourself.
Yup. Hate to say it because it sounds a little cliche, but it's true.
But you said earlier, oh, there's all this advice, just be yourself. It's hard to be yourself.
Right. Yeah. People, just be yourself. Like, that's an easy thing. It's like,
No,
cool,
that's a hard
myself is this nerdy, shy guy who hides in the library all day. Like, that's not what they're talking about.
Well, one of the things that I was introduced to in my personal development journey, because I did get trained in neurolinguistic programming, they talk about hardware and software.
Mm.
The analogy being there's certain aspects of you that are like the hardware. It's not going to change. And then there's other aspects that are like the software. That's like a program that got installed and you can uninstall it. So You're Not Girlfriend Material is a program that got installed and then I uninstalled it.
Right.
I think a big part of the personal development journey is figuring out what is hardware and what is software.
Yes.
And installing the best, most positive software possible while acknowledging and accepting and working with the hardware that you have.
Yes. I agree. Absolutely.
And I think hardware would be more like a highly sensitive person.
Yeah. Core aspects of your personality.
Yeah. And things you don't want to change.
Yeah, that too. I think it takes time to figure out what those things are. It takes time and energy to know yourself, to know what those are.
What are some other takeaway lessons that you would put out?
I do think vulnerability has been a big thing for us. The importance of being vulnerable with each other, and also I think the way we've learned how to both hold each other in our feelings has been really important.
Yeah, I would say so.
And there wasn't just like, oh, I read a little guide about that and then learned to do it. There was stuff that went into that, I think, for both of us, again, to learn
practice.
That. It was practice, and I needed help to learn that.
I did too. I had a lot of coaches, both in group settings and in one-on-one coaching, that would point out to me when I was talking, even to them, which is already you're more open generally with coaches and therapists and counselors than you are with other people.
Yeah.
Even in those contexts, I would have them point out, you're not really being very vulnerable with me right now. And I didn't realize the walls that I had up until I had other people point it out to me.
Yeah.
And then in relationship as well, other relationships where I had to learn that vulnerability.
Yeah. I had something similar where I had a lot of people work with me iteratively around how they were feeling with me. Like, oh, right now I'm feeling really safe with you and held by you and I can be expressed. Oh, now I'm not.
Yeah.
Something changed. Like, you're not here anymore. I'd be like, oh, crap, you know? So there's tremendous value in working with somebody and going through that process.
You really developed a wonderful way of helping me feel safe and grounded.
Yeah.
That wasn't there before. You had to learn that.
Yeah.
I think that's important because we're not just talking about, oh, you're going to learn a communication technique. You can really learn things that people say are unlearnable.
Yes.
That might seem like an innate personality trait, but actually it's something you can learn.
Yeah.
Which is how to be more emotionally grounded and grounding.
Yes.
More vulnerable, more accepting.
Yeah.
Any other takeaway lessons?
And I feel like there's something about, for people in dating, keeping in mind who you already know.
What was that? Like, who's already in your world?
Who's already
You had a coach that said that to you, right? Like,
yeah.
Which women are already paying attention to you?
Yeah. Pay attention to whoever's paying attention to you.
Yeah.
And prioritize that.
Mike, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We talked for a long time.
Yeah.
It's always fun to reminisce with you. And I hope that there's valuable content in here for other people as well. I'm just so happy to have you. I'm so happy to have you.
Happy to have you too.
When I think about why I do the work that I do as a dating coach, it's really because I want other people to have this experience.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help other people go from struggling the way that you and I both struggled into having something like this. So if you're listening and you are curious about coaching, you can book a discovery call with me. There's a link in the show notes. The discovery call is free. It's a conversation about coaching and how it may or may not be a fit for you. Either way, true love is real. It's real. I hope that's the ultimate takeaway of this episode. It's one thing for me to give dating advice in episodes where it's just me talking.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to do an episode where it was both of us.
Yeah.
So that you could hear a real-time conversation about what we've been through and what we're doing now. I want you to have your true love too. Your love story should be extraordinary. I think our love story is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you agreed with that. That would have been really embarrassing. Yes, your love story should be extraordinary.